What's up guys, today I'm bringing you a hero review. Like, subscribe, comment, and hope you enjoy. So the hero I'm reviewing today is McCree. He's probably most known to be the cowboy. That's kind of his background, and he doesn't really have much of a background story as in lore, but yeah, he's the cowboy. And he uses his gun, which is called the Peacemaker, and the primary shots are basically just, normal shots. And to squishies, if you get a headshot, it usually deals half of their damage. And there are a bunch of combos you can do to one-shot people. And his secondary fire, which basically is a fan the hammer is what it's called. And no, not the hammer you're thinking of, not the tourbillon hammer. It's his secondary fire. So basically, if you want to look good in front of your friends or people you're playing against and not get people raging at you, do not use the secondary fire unless you're taking out a shield. Okay, and then we move on to his abilities. Now his first ability is a roll. It's basically just him rolling around on the ground. It gives him a small bit of mobility, and it reloads his gun. That's what it is. So that's also another thing I sometimes do when I'm targeting a shield or a tank. I like to secondary fire, roll, and then start primary firing, because secondary fire, whenever you do that, it puts you at a huge risk because you're out of ammo half the time. And his other ability is called a flashbang, so it stuns enemies and it just stops them in their place. Now this is really useful if you ever want to line up a good headshot on somebody, or if they're, basically that's about it. There's also the noob tactic I've talked about just now. It's called the flash hammer. It's basically where you flashbang an enemy and then you fan the hammer on them. It's an insta-kill, but it's very newbie. That's the only downside to it. And now let's move on to his ultimate. His ultimate is basically, I see you die. So basically it's Bastion as an ultimate. Yeah, but all you have to do is go to go somewhere and then you press triangle and you make sure you lock onto all of their heads and you press R2 and they all die. Simple as that. Now his ultimate is pretty easy to charge. All you gotta do is just line up some shots on a tank. Now, what I recommend when you use his Deadeye, what I recommend is to always try to flank around the enemy and try not to be seen. I know this is really difficult because you have a huge red outline for some reason, which makes no sense in this game, which I really wish they didn't have. And then basically you just gotta get behind them, and once you get behind them, just try to get high ground, and usually you want to get behind the shield where they are, or beside it, to where you can aim sight it or whatever, and then you press triangle and then you wait for a couple of seconds. Now this is really useful because mostly you want to target squishies with this. I know sometimes it'll auto target tanks, but the thing about tanks is that it's really difficult to do anything against it, because they have a lot of HP and it takes forever to Deadeye. Now there are a ton of counters that I will be explaining right now. That the counters are if there's a Reinhardt shield or an Orisa shield or a bubble from Zarya, or even worse, a Genji deflect. Now those are all the abilities that do it, counter it. Now for the ultimates that counter it. Lucio counters it because, he adds a lot of health, which is really hard to lock onto their heads or whatever whenever they have so much health, because it takes a while and then you end up wasting your ult. Now the other ult that will really just stop it is Metra's new ultimate, where she creates a giant barrier, which is really difficult if she does that in your face while you're dead-eyeing, because it just stops you in your tracks and you're not able to do a lot because it just stops you, which is really annoying, because shields in this game are really annoying when you're playing a sniper or any character always classify him as a sniper. I don't know if he is classified as a sniper. I just classify him as a sniper. But yeah, it's just really bothering. And then, well, that's about all the really ultimates to counter it. Of course, you have Sombra's EMP that counters it. Okay, yeah, that's basically the video. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment. Of course, this video is on a hero review, which I'll probably be doing more in the future. If you enjoy them, then you're in luck. And see you guys.